Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing a speed mapping. I think this is the first time I've done a, high speed map thing. Even though it's just sped up, but still, it's about 8 times speed. This is literal Cliff Hill. This is another section of the Tanzan depths. We've been to that place before. We're going there again, but I figured halfway through mapping this, I'd record it so I can show you guys how cliffs are suffering, because cliffs are suffering. So to start, you might have seen at the very beginning, we're past it now, but there was a huge diagonal cut of terrain. That is for rock climb, so I'm going to be building the entire rest of the map around that rock climb thing. The rock climb has to be a straight angle, so since that's the thing I know for sure, I always like to work just from what I know for sure and then build outwards. So, I've also outlined the edges of the area the player can go. I'm doing that. I did that firstly with the black marks you'll see on the side of the screen. That's the screen border area. But then I'm also doing this here with the cliff elevation. I'm using the corners to sort of mark out the area that the player can actually move around in. After that, I'm just going to start filling things in with various cliffs according to my needs. I say this every time I make a mapping video, but I always sketch stuff out first, and that is not more complex than just boxes with notes with what I want that room to accomplish, but that still gives me a really good guideline with what I want to go for when I am doing these maps. I feel like it's it's a lot less effective to just charge in and kind of wing it. There are dungeons that I've done that, and frankly I think it shows. So we're just going to go through this. I've done the basic player area by this point. I'm just going to keep working outwards with each kind of level of elevation. Fill in the floor tiles, which, I mean, look how much those do for the look, because it looks silly without those, but then boom, crisp for the area that I filled in so far anyway. Going to have to keep filling out cliffs. At some point here pretty soon, I'm going to shift from doing this ring by ring outwards to doing like small sections of the cliffs at a time, and that's just a little quicker for me. I think when building out the shape of the area, it's better as far as appearance to do it for level by level, but you can see now, like I just did that section by the rock climb area all at once, just because, I can tell based on the way the cliffs and the corners are going, like, that's how it has to be. At some point, all those cliff corners get crammed so far together, like, there's just not a lot of room for anything else. So at that point, I'll do that all at once and just kind of KO that. It's a little quicker for me, or at least I think so. Personal preference, whatever. Another thing you're going to see that I'm doing as we're going through these cliffs is look at that part on the back wall in the center, how it's kind of like flat. It's also kind of the same way on the left wall. Like I'm like, so right now I'm pulling out that flat part and making a little contour there, I guess is the word for it, but like pushing it in, so that it's not so flat. And yeah, see, I do the same thing at the top part. I try to avoid having those completely flat walls if I can help it. I can't always help it because of, sometimes I just, like I said, there's not room between all the corners and stuff. But yeah, it looks better if you can get a little variance in the flat-facing walls that way. I'm going to start filling in the rest of the floor tiles here. Other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much just building this outward from the rock climb place and making it rounded. It's round for a very natural look, but it's also like uniform. You see, I make sure to leave random spaces here and there where it doesn't quite line up. I think that does a lot for the natural rough feel. So I really like this tile set. We've seen this before, but I mean, one thing I was experimenting with here is having just multiple layers and such to show different shadows and depth and stuff. It's tedious as all get up, but it's really cool looking, I think, so we'll call it worth. I would like to do it more, but I'm not gonna. In other games, actually, besides Pokemon games, it would be super easy to do this because you could just use, like, negative space and an overlay, put that over the map entirely, so even everything will be affected. Like, as it is, I'm kind of limiting the decorations I can use in the bottom area because most of them don't suit the brightness. I could change that, but whatever. So, I mean, you know, in a normal project, it doesn't work well with Pokemon Essentials because of map connections, but you could just put in an overlay of darkness and make shadows everywhere in negative spaces, directing concept I'd love to use, or I would love to use. I can't really do it in Reborn, but I'm looking forward to doing that in the future. Anyway, we're just about done here. I'm going to lay down some few decorations and rocks in the middle to keep it interesting. Thank you guys for watching. Episode 16 is on its way.